Yo, 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 it's the 1409 podcast. I go by the name of KT.
It's your boy GualaMeetsWorld.
Welcome to episode 81. You know what I'm saying? And on this episode, we have a special guest. We have the CEO and the founder of Black Speakers Network, Mr. Brian J. Olds.
Yes, sir. What's going on, brothers?
What's up? How you living?
Living good, living good. Look, proud, very proud of you, brothers. Very excited to be here. 1409 the building, episode 81. Let's go. Like, I'm very have been looking forward to this all day. I couldn't even, it's 10 o'clock here. I wasn't even getting sleepy, man. Getting ready for you, brothers. So
you ready.
Yeah. And KT, I just want to give you congratulations, man. I know you guys expecting, man. Like, you family growing, brothers. So definitely, keep up the great work.
Yeah, we just had baby. That's a new addition to our family 3 weeks ago. Baby girl. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations, brother.
3 week old.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah. Keep it up.
Appreciate you. All right. We got the intros out of the way. Now we get into the trivia. So, okay. I like to freestyle the trivia because I never have it ready. So if you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. So I guess I'm ready. All right. So my trivia today would be, where you say you were from?
I'm from Baltimore. Me?
Yeah,
I'm from Baltimore.
You from Baltimore?
Baltimore, Maryland. Yep.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's cool. So what year was the Baltimore Ravens' first season?
I would say 2001.
2001? See, I don't even know myself. I got to look it up.
2000, because we had the whole thing with the Cleveland, with the Browns backing up.
I want to say it's 2002, but I could be wrong.
I mean, maybe.
Let me see. Baltimore Ravens.
Probably earlier than that, actually. It's probably like in the 90s.
Baltimore Ravens' first year was... hold up. What's your guess, Guala?
89.
89.
It's not that, because we had a team before that, and then they packed up, left in the middle of the night, and so we had to rebrand as the Ravens. So yeah, it's definitely either the 90s or early 2000s.
It's 1996. We were all wrong.
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens' first season was 96.
Art model. I worked for the company I worked for 11 years. Was founded by the current owner of the Ravens, Steve Bisciotti. So there's a lot of history there. So we were Raven fans by default, man. But yeah, I remember 96. I was in like sixth grade or something. So I wasn't really paying attention.
96, I was in preschool or something. What's going on, Miss Constance Craig Mason? We see you in here.
Yeah, she's BSN in the building. What's going on, Constance?
Yeah. What you about to say, Guala?
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna speak to Miss Constance. How you doing, Miss Constance?
Says she's part of BSN, Black Speakers Network. For the listeners and the viewers out there. My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. What are you gonna say?
No, she Constance is doing amazing. Her husband Anthony are building a massive brand right now around the black couple space, and so they just launched a massive event and a book project. They have another one coming up in a couple weeks. So yeah, she's the reason I have health insurance. She's a financial expert, and they are crushing it out here in these speaker streets. So yeah, shout out to Constance.
Black excellence.
Hey.
Hashtag. Yeah.
For real. All right. So Black Speakers Network, for the listeners and viewers out there and the people that may not know, what is Black Speakers Network?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Black Speakers Network, or BSN as we say. I started the organization in 2016. So we're nationwide speaker development and training. company. And so our mission is to equip, connect, and inspire the next generation of Black professional speakers. So basically what that means, guys, is that, we're here to serve our current and aspiring Black professional speakers. And so if you're out there and you're trying to figure out how to get started as a professional speaker, or if you're already in the game and you're trying to figure out how to get visibility, establish credibility, and get more consistency, that's really the area that we play. I'm super proud to leave an amazing community, which Constance is a part of over 12,000 current and professional speakers. Those are pretty much from all across the country and also around the world. We have members in South Africa, Canada, in the Caribbean, Japan. And so the goal is the same, to help speakers get access to resources, opportunity, and a community to actually build their speaking business. So that's what we out here doing.
That's dope. Before we go any further, let's take this shot. I forgot the shot, so let's get to these shots.
Let's do it.
That's good. Everybody got it prepared. You got it poured. All right, I got mine here. Let's get it.
I read my show notes. This shot glass was a gift from my cousin from this is Las Vegas, Nevada. My cousin Mia went out there a couple weeks ago. Well, actually a couple months ago now, and brought me back shot glass with my name on it. I was like, okay.
Hey.
Shot glass. And I was telling the guys, one of our members that lives in Japan just sent me over this drink. It is not alcoholic, but I just came from vacation, so I'm good on that. But sparkling rosé drink is pretty good. So my first drink from Japan.
He got that rosé. The Black Speakers Network, it has a Facebook group as well. It's about 12,000.
Yes, sir. Yep, 12,000. Continuing to grow. Great community. Very supportive. Definitely recommend jumping in free. And we every single week we're sharing resources, information. Just had a speaker today. She had her first television interview on ABC, Channel 7 down in DC. Lots of love there. Sharing speaking opportunities. We do a free training every Thursday. So yeah, the group, you got pop in the group at any given moment, there's always something positive going on. And that's the goal. Like if you're building something, you want to be around people that are doing what you're doing, just like y'all doing here on 1409. So
1409. I can hear your Baltimore accent. We had a guest last week from Baltimore too. Shout out to Doris Jones. She's from Baltimore. Yeah. Y'all have a really distinct accent.
Yeah, water. Baltimore.
Yeah. Juice.
Zinc.
Yeah.
What was your motivation behind starting the BSN platform?
Yeah. So the motivation behind starting Black Speakers Network. Listen, so people may not realize this, but I'm an introvert, and even on my LinkedIn profile, like I still have it right now, like certified introvert. So like I was not the guy to be, in high school voted least most likely to, be a public speaker or professional speaker. I always tell people I couldn't move two people in silent prayer, man. I couldn't move a crowd with a gun, like DJ Clue said. So it's kind of a situation where I looked at speaking as a way of really breaking out of my shell. From Baltimore, went to Morgan State University. So shout out to MSU, shout out to HBCUs. And so, that was my experience of being at Morgan, but I was actually there to be an engineering major. I don't know if y'all had to take any type of like higher level math or anything like that, but I thought my goal was to be an aerospace engineer. I got to like calculus 2, and I was in there. I was just like, I was trying to take one of the tests. I was like, 30 minutes went by. I still had nothing on the paper. I was like, let me just go see what the School of Business is talking about. So I went on lunch and never came back. And so that was my experience. I was really lost in college. They say the average person like changed their major 2 to 3 times. So I hit that statistic. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then somebody said, hey, we're starting a Toastmasters club. And I said, oh, Toastmasters, like, what's that? I said, well, it's a organization where you could practice your public speaking skills. So a lot of people, are familiar with Toastmasters. in like community groups or like companies. Very rarely we find a Toastmasters club on a college campus. Very, very rare would you find one like at HBCU. And so we were like the breaking ground with that. And so we started. And so in 2006, and in the summer of 2006, if you were sitting in this small classroom in the School of Business where we kicked off this Toastmasters program, you would have watched as I stood up, like nervously walked to the front of the room and prepared to deliver my very first speech in Toastmasters. And if I could put both of you guys on the front row of that situation, you would have noticed a couple things right away. Number one, you would have noticed my sweaty palms. I was sitting there trying to grip the paper and my hands were shaking.
I was going to say you were sweating, weren't you?
Pool of water forming around my feet, man. Sweaty palms, shaking voice as I started to deliver my presentation. I was pacing back and forth, almost walked out of the room because somebody left the door open. And then, you probably heard the phrase, when you're nervous about anything, whether it's an interview, you're about to ask somebody on a date. People say it feels like you have butterflies in your stomach,
Mm-hmm.
In my case, it wasn't just the casual kind of, a little bit of butterflies. These were like horror movie style, about to crash out of your chest type of butterflies. And so I actually make it through the end of the presentation. And it wasn't long. It was like 4 minutes, but I make it to the end of the presentation. I'm like, okay, I'm still alive. That's good. Number two, everybody in the room was clapping. And but later on in Toastmasters, like if y'all ever go to a Toastmasters meeting, you'll realize Toastmasters, we pretty much clap for everything. Like if you bring your lunch to the meeting, you're getting a round of applause. So, but they make you feel really good about what you did. And then I was like, hey, I just survived my first speech. If I can do one, I can do two. And 2 turned into 3, 3 turned into 4, 4 turned into 10. And eventually I was off and running. And so that was really my first taste of public speaking, long before Black Speakers Network started. But going back to your question, Gala, like, my whole thing was when I got comfortable speaking, one of the features in Toastmasters is called an evaluator. And so like if you were giving your presentation, you would always have somebody to come behind you and say, hey, man, here's what I like about your presentation. You did this, you did this, but here's a couple things that you could work on. And so I got really good and I started really much enjoying. I still love speaking, but I love helping speakers really, craft their message and ultimately connect to the audience that they're called to serve. And so when I learned about the world of professional speaking, I was like, okay, this is something that I really didn't realize. I didn't realize people got paid to speak. And people get paid a lot of money to speak and to deliver a message. And I've seen like keynote speakers at graduations and stuff like that. But to know that there's an entire industry of people speaking was something I didn't realize. And so I started seeking out organizations that would serve speakers. And here in Baltimore, there wasn't a lot going on. A little bit in DC, but as I started going around the country trying to find organizations, I really didn't see what I was looking for. So like any entrepreneur, what do? Like you create your own space. And so that's what we started Black Speakers Network in 2016. I really wanted to bring a level of diversity to the speaking space. Like a lot of rooms I would go into, just to be honest, it was white males, white men, 50 and over, I'm like, where the brothers and sisters? Like, where's the next generation? And so that's why that phrase of, equipping, connecting, inspiring the next generation of Black professional speakers came from. And next generation doesn't have anything to do with age, but it does have to do with people who are like, yeah, this is something I want to get into.
Facts. So that's what you would say was your motivation behind starting the platform of Black Speakers Network?
Absolutely. I think it's an intersection of 3 areas. There's an intersection of, wanting to see diversity in the professional speaking space. It was a passion of speaking and being in my own journey of someone who's really an introvert. Like I'm okay, like being in a room by myself. Like I don't need a lot of attention. I don't need to be, on stage, but I recognize that there are so many people who have powerful messages and they could really be impacting people, helping them grow their business, helping them become better leaders, helping them, save their marriage. There are all types of speakers for all different types of problems. And But if they don't ever see themselves as a speaker or really know that there's opportunity in this industry, if they don't see other people that look like them and have people that they can connect with, then it could be a challenge. You tend to, if you see somebody accomplishing something, you're more likely to believe that it's possible for yourself, particularly if that person, shares some commonalities with you. So definitely a combination of, passion, want to impact the diversity of the speaking space. And really, I had been holding my own events in Baltimore for years. I've done seminars, workshops. I went in straight into corporate America. I was working as a full-time trainer for 2 years. I went back to school to study instructional design. So I was doing all these things kind of anyway. BSN kind of was a way to help me bring together like all my experiences into one platform and be able to, really serve the people that I wanted to. And so, yeah, that was in 2016. So yeah, it's been about 5 years and we've been not slowing down, actually speeding up. So
all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
We slow down on the curves a little bit, but then get around the curve, speed right back up.
So we noticed the Black Speaking Network actually have podcasts that are part of the network. How does that process work? And, how do you choose the podcast for the network?
Oh, yeah. So that's actually a new feature. So for 2021, we have this group of things called emerging programs. So for the podcast, so it's called the podcast and the BSN podcast and platform directory. So really anybody can be a part of the podcast as long as they have a show where they're interviewing guests on a regular basis, because it's a free.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. You should absolutely be on the directory. And here's why. Really what we're building at the end of the day is a media brand. We could talk more about some of these properties, but you'll start hearing things like Black Speakers News, Black Speakers TV. We already have a standing partnership with Speakers Magazine. And so really our whole thing is about connecting speakers with opportunity, creating platforms where you can become more visible. So, but in answer to your question, the podcast platform is free. The only thing that we ask anyone who is hosting a podcast to be on a platform is that you seek out someone from the BSN community at least 4 times a year to be on the platform. And so, you're getting visibility, we're providing speakers with opportunities, so it becomes a win-win. And it's normally not a challenge because right now we have over 500 BSN, what we call premium members. And so these individuals, they have a professional headshot, bio, website, we have all that information. They've already provide a level of detail on their area of expertise. And so, if you're looking for somebody that's an expert on, personal development, leadership, health and wellness, finances, we have diversity and inclusion speakers, like folks who are science, technology, engineering, and math, like whatever you're looking for, you could probably find it within the BSN ecosystem. So yeah, the podcast directory is live, it's up. I'm super excited. We're adding new podcasts every single day. And we definitely want to have one of the largest Black directories of podcasts in the country.
Oh, that's dope. So you said 4 members a year interview, a minimum?
Pretty much, yeah. So 1 a quarter,
That's anybody listening out there, you're interviewing people on a regular basis, make sure y'all reach out to Black Speakers Network so y'all can get with the Black Speakers Network. It's real dope out there, for real. You get subscribe to the email list and you can find out all the things they have going on. You know what I'm saying? I get the emails like very frequently.
Appreciate that. Yeah, got to keep people connected. And that's the whole thing. Like, I believe we're in the age, and y'all are doing a phenomenal job here, that we're in the age of building community, right, and getting information out there. And you got 2 ways. You can ask for a seat at the table, or you can build your own table. I'm kind of in like building your own table mode. Like, you don't need anybody's permission to succeed. You don't need anybody's permission to create your own podcast, to host your own event, to launch your own brand. Like, if you want to roll, you just roll. So y'all are rolling, and I like being around people who are just like, nah, I'm rolling, and we'll help you get there.
Yeah, you definitely rolling too. What developmental tools are provided to members of Black Speakers Network?
Yeah, so we have a ton of resources. So the easiest thing, as I mentioned, we have these things we call speaker development classes. And so every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we do we'll call speaker development class. And so within BSN, the entire goal is to help you build your speaking business. But to most people, they're like, what does that even mean? And so for us, we broke it down to 5 areas. So as you come into BSN, we're like, hey, here are the 5 areas, of the thousands of speakers that we talk to, the hundreds of, guest experts that we've had on our platform. We really like anything that you're going to do falls into one of these 5 areas. So it's getting clarity on, we call them the 5 M's. So it's getting clarity on your mission, your message, your marketing, how to monetize, and how to manage your speaking business. So it's mission, message, marketing, monetize, and manage. And so everything that we teach falls into one of those 5 areas. Mission is focused on like, hey, what problem am I solving as a speaker? Who's my target audience? And how I'm going to actually deliver on that promise that I'm making to them. My message is kind of some of the stuff we learned in Toastmasters, like how to speak effectively, how to create effective opening, getting your audience's attention, vocal variety, hand gestures, transitions, actually structuring a presentation, using visual aids, storytelling, things of that nature. Marketing is where the rubber meets the road. And this is where a lot of speakers struggle, because you can be an amazing speaker, but if nobody knows who you are, if they don't really understand what you speak about, it's not really going to matter. And so, making sure that your brand is really, really tight as a speaker. And so that's things like making sure that you have, professional headshots, a speaker website, a bio, a press kit, or, what we call a speaker one sheet, professional level materials that is going to reflect what it is that you're asking for in the marketplace. There's nothing worse than, being someone that's like, hey, my speaking fee is $5,000, but then, your materials look like, you only spent like $20 on it. And so it's a mismatch. Like meeting planners need to see, testimonials. They need to see video. They need to see that you're actually doing what you say that you do. And so market is incredibly important. The 4th M is monetize. And so, every speaker wants to know, how do I get paid? Like that's the number one question we get is how do I find speaking engagements? How do I find paid speaking engagements? And so there's an entire portfolio of things that we teach as it relates to being able to create a revenue streams, actually multiple revenue streams for yourself as a speaker. So everybody knows, you show up, if you're speaking at a conference or going into a corporation, if they have a budget, tell them your budget, they have it, and they want to bring you in, they pay you. That's one way of getting paid. But there's 20 plus ways of getting paid as a speaker. You're either getting paid in the front end or you're getting paid on the back end. It's just like the music business. So for the most part, as a speaker, you're basically repackaging the information that into different forms for your audience. And so, a presentation is just when you're delivering a keynote, that's just one way of packaging your information, but you could package it into a book. I know you had Taria Vaughn on a couple of weeks ago talking about that. You could package it into a program, an online course, individual coaching or consulting, membership program like we have. There are all different types of ways that you can add value. And so that's something that we help speakers navigate. And then the 5th area is like managing your speaking business. And so, there's people that kind of treat speaking like a side hustle. And then there's some people that treat it like a business. Like for people that treat it like a business, that means you're walking into your bank and you're opening up a separate bank account. You're following your file, actually keeping track of the money that you're making and that you're spending. So you have an accounting system. You are filing your taxes appropriately. You have speaker contracts. You're protecting your intellectual property, getting trademarks, copyrights, things of that nature. So I really just want to make sure that you're managing your business like a business. And so those are the 5 areas that we talk about all the time. And so we provide content both free. We provide annual events and conferences, and we also have a platform partner network, which are experts in each of those areas who we actually bring in, and they offer their own programs throughout the year.
Okay. So what type of conferences do you have? Like, are they yearly, quarterly? Like, how do you go about doing the conferences, and what type of conferences do you have?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think, 2020 has been a game changer year for our industry in the sense that, so many people have converted to virtual experiences, which I really think is good. I think that being able to deliver virtual content, i.e., virtual seminars, webinars, podcasts, just like this, are very important because one, people are busier than ever. People have families. It's expensive to travel, and sometimes, if you can't make it to a live event, being able to consume the same content on the computer is just as good. In some cases, better. So digital information sharing has been a really big part of our strategy. It already was. I mean, people were scrambling last year trying to figure out like how to use Zoom and Hopin and all these other platforms. Like we paid for the highest version of Zoom for the last 4 years. Like we've been hosting webinars every single week for 4 years. And
Hope you got that stock.
Huh?
Hope you had that stock for 4 years.
Well, I got into stock. I just got into investing in 2018. So yeah, but I mean, that's real talk. These companies we're using them, so we need to be investors in them. So, but anyway, like that's the whole thing. Like digital delivery, people want just in time learning solutions. So for us, it's really 3 ways. Number one, as I mentioned, we have our platform partners, and so they host events all throughout the year, whether it's storytelling training, like actually the shirt I have on right now, I'm a master storyteller. This is Andy Henriquez. He runs the annual the quarterly Master Storyteller Academy. Some people that want to build their online course. Our partner Kat Dunn right now is running her online course academy. And so depending on where you are in your speaking business and what you need, we try to match your level to the specific course that you need. And so there's stuff happening all the time as it relates to getting trained in those specific areas. We run our annual event. It's called the BSN Global Speakers Summit. That's in October. And so that's something where we're bringing together multiple thought leaders for 1 or 2 days and going deep into each of those 5 M's. And so that's an annual event, but nobody wants to wait till October to learn like what they need to learn in order to build their speaking business. So in the meantime, we have just-in-time learning solutions. And so just last year, we launched Black Speakers University. And so Black Speakers University is live, online, instructor-led training where people can log in and actually get access to an actual professor who's going to teach in a specific area. And so we have things like website design, content strategy, developing your verbal business card. And we have many, many more courses. We have a course right now in development on establishing business credit. So things that you can actually come in for 4 weeks at a time and learn directly from a person who's an expert in that and get that kind of that classroom experience, but virtually. And so those are some of the major platforms we have right now.
So they're live or they're pre-recorded?
So the Black Speakers University classes, it's a combination. So the Black Speakers University was created to offer live courses. So these are, you're showing up just like this, and there's a professor teaching the content. You can ask questions. You can hear like examples from other students and like learn in that live environment. Of course, they're recorded and give you access to it. So we also have a pre-recorded kind of university as well, so people can do on-demand training. But some of the things that we've seen, and I think this is kind of known within the industry. I mean, I don't know if you've been guilty of it. I know I have, of like buying stuff and it just kind of sits on the shelf. So like I sign up for a course and, don't necessarily go all the way through the content. That's a big issue, and some people, if it was just about content, like everybody be rich by now. Like it's not content. Like most stuff you can Google, you can, read a book. It's not just about content. It's about accountability. And it's also about contextualizing the information that you're hearing to your specific situation. A lot of people just want somebody, face to face, be like, yo, KT, you can do it. Gullet, like you can do it. Like I heard what you're talking about. All you got to do is boom, boom, boom. Like, you sure I can do it? Like, yes, like just go do it. Like, so having a community of accountability, I think is extremely important. You can do anything. If you were trying to lose weight, like everybody knows the secret to losing weight. Like it's been around for years. You eat less food, move more, like consume less calories, go to the gym. Like that's the two things. But weight loss fitness is still tens of billions of dollar industry, from products to online tools to Peloton. Right now I do have some Peloton stock. It is crushing it. So like stuff like that, yeah, it's real. Like, so it's but why? Like, we already know that if you want to if you want to live a longer life, if you want to be fit, if you want to lose weight, like whatever fitness goal that you want can be achieved by the change in diet and regular exercise. So why is this all these people making money off of this? Is because information, they, like, people say knowledge is power. Like, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power, and you can only apply knowledge if there's a mechanism to help you, use that knowledge in a very structured way. And so that's why people enroll in courses. That's why people get into programs. That's why people, go to college. Like, you can learn the exact same information for free in college, but it won't have the same structure. You won't have anybody keeping you accountable. You won't have anybody giving you a grade. You won't have anybody saying, oh, there's no graduation cap at the end. You just got the knowledge. And so people are used to being conditioned in a way where you're getting information in a way that is applicable to what you're doing. And I think it's good. I think as people, we need to learn from each other, which is why, I created a community, because, I certainly learn best if I'm learning. If I got somebody on my left and somebody on my right that's going through it with me, I can ask questions and then we could, tackle it together.
For sure. So do y'all offer degrees or certificates from Black Speakers University?
Yeah. So those are coming right now. It's pretty much the Black Speakers University just launched in Q4 of last year. Mm-hmm. So we're certainly moving toward like certification programs. My thing right now is not so much focused on certification, because, a lot of people have certification programs and it's cool, but just because you get a certification really doesn't mean anything. Like, what I want to see is people being able to take that information, go out and actually, get a customer, build your business, get a speaking engagement, get booked on a podcast, like be able to actually do something with it. So, but we will eventually have, levels and certification and degrees and all that.
That shit, that's dope.
Yeah,
so
man.
What is you spoke a little bit on Black Speakers University. What's the ultimate goal of Black Speakers University?
The goal is so within BSN, there's a couple different levels of speakers. And so level one is what I would call like an aspiring speaker. So that's somebody that they're like, hey, I don't know what I need to do. I just want to be a speaker. Can you help me? So that's kind of like level one. Level two is what we call an emerging speaker. And so emerging speaker is somebody who has pretty good clarity on who they serve. Like they kind of have a good idea of their target market. They've already delivered presentations. They probably got paid as a speaker, or they've developed, at least some products or some services around whatever it is that they do. They probably still working full time, type of thing. But, they've got some momentum. Level three is what we call like a seasoned speaker. So these are folks who are like crushing the game. They've probably been speaking at least to probably 5 or more plus years, high 6-figure income earner. Like they have a lot of clarity on exactly who they are, what they do, what they provide, have multiple products and services type of thing. And so the goal of BSU is to be able to take somebody who's brand new, like, hey, I want to be a speaker, that level one, and then help them move progressively from an aspiring speaker to an emerging speaker to ultimately a seasoned speaker, if that's what they want to do. Not everybody wants to build like a 6 or 7-figure speaking business, so they can, stop at whatever level. But the idea is we believe you need three things to move through that continuum. So you definitely need the knowledge and information. So that's equip. You're certainly going to need a community of support. And so that's connect. And, being able to pull out the individual success stories of the people who are doing it really, really well. And that you could say, oh, wow, KT, he just got his first speaking engagement. Like, KT, tell us how you did that. Tell us how you were able to, land your first contract, how you sold your first, 4 figures of books, like how you got on that podcast, how you were able to, get that sponsorship. And so in real time, being able to learn directly, not just from the experts, but also from the people who are doing it day in and day out, I think is super important. To see that momentum and to see that example. And so that's the overarching goal of the university, is to help meet people where they are and help them move through each of those levels.
All right, so you're into helping others. You're very helpful in getting the speakers developed and everything. So was there anyone that helped you along the way to get to where you are today that you'd like to?
Yo, so many people. So many people. I mean, it's kind of hard to put it. I mean, that's why, like, I don't, a lot of people, say like, oh, he's self-made millionaire and stuff like that. Like, I don't think there's any such thing. In Toastmasters, I actually just accepted a keynote speaking opportunity for Toastmasters in May. They have a district conference that they do. And I did this long Facebook post just kind of thinking, so many people just in the Toastmasters world that helped me. Cheryl Nicholson, she was one of our, she actually works at Morgan State University, but she was one of our like earliest mentors and consistently kept pouring into us, writing us notes, like letting me know that like I could do it. So many people, I mean, even down to like my mom, like indirectly, she still doesn't exactly know what we do, but just having somebody that's just a constant beacon of encouragement, I think is super important. So many like friends, like if I started naming people, I probably get myself in trouble, but I just know that within the BSN community, within the Toastmasters community, being part of organizations here in Baltimore, I'm a member of Black Professional Men Incorporated. So many just people that have consistently, poured into me and continue to this day, friends and people who aren't even in the spotlight, but just will send me like an encouragement text message or say, hey, Brian, don't give up, man. Like I just got an email actually yesterday from a guy. Like I literally haven't heard from this dude in like 2 years. I didn't even know, like you said, KT, like, sending out those emails every week. And he was like, hey, it was like one sentence. It's like, keep going, bro. I'm like, where were you at? Like, what happened? Like, and so whether it's something small like that or something major, like a Cheryl Nicholson, that's like a constant force in my life, it's been cool. I had this speech. So Toastmasters does this cool thing. It's called the International Speech Contest. So every year, 30,000 people compete in this contest for the title of World Champion of Public Speaking. It's kind of cool. It's like the WrestleMania of speaking, And so I competed one year with this speech called Twisted Statistics. And so one of the things I talked about was, at the time I was 32, 33 competing. And, the statistic for Black men is like, just that 33%, you end up incarcerated, in jail, victim of violence of some sort. And it takes a lot, growing up. I mean, Baltimore, Detroit, pick a hood you grow up in, like, you come out with the odds already against you. So this speech about twisted statistics talked about, the different people in my life that helped to kind of twist those statistics for me. One person being, my grandfather. I had tennis coach. I had people that came through at different points that really helped. So
cool.
Yeah.
I like to say, you ever heard that old saying where people say it takes a community to raise a child?
Yes.
it takes a community to raise an idea, to raise the next entrepreneur, to raise the next, president, just to raise whatever you want to be. It takes a community of people to inspire you and push you.
Real talk. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no nobody's doing it by themselves. And so right now, it's important to us to be able to do that. Even right now, we're in negotiation with a local nonprofit to hopefully be able to bring in some high school interns for next month. And so things like that, where it's like, yeah, obviously everybody wants to make money. Okay. But my whole thing is, have fun, make money, make an impact. We're only here for a little bit of time. And so while we're here, I do believe you should enjoy the journey on the way. That's why I just got back from vacation. I do believe that, we should make money because, it's very hard to, help other people. You got to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on anybody else. And then, but making an impact, creating a legacy, reaching back and while you're still reaching up is possible. And so that's one of the reasons why we have Black Speakers Network there. It's not about ego. It's not about, 6 figures, 7 figures. It's about how can we should be getting better every single year. Like we should be getting more with less effort. And yeah, that's a whole nother show probably, but yes.
All right. So what's been your greatest accomplishment with Black Speakers Network?
Yeah, I mean, my greatest accomplishment, I think at this point has really just been seeing the growth of the community. Like when I started, we started with a Twitter page and a website that I built in my bedroom in 2016. And so, I left my full-time job. I'm a little bit of an atypical millennial. So like I worked at the same company for 11 years and I held different roles, throughout that process. But I was always like, man, you know what? I bet we could really do something special with this. And so when I took the business seriously, I was like, I could probably like leave my job and, just really, really, turn on the gas. And so April 12th, 2019 was my last day like in corporate America. It's 5:38 p.m. Like I walked off of the parking lot for the last time or rolled off of the parking lot. And I remember just like seeing the building like fade away in like my rear view window as I was driving away. And I was like, wow, this is a new chapter like of my life. And so that was definitely one of my biggest like personal accomplishments. But from the business perspective, it's not about me. It's about like the hundreds of members that we get an opportunity to serve. And so what I love seeing is people being like, hey, I just got my first speaking engagement. Like one of our members, we have a member in Nigeria. He's in Lagos, Nigeria. Just booked his first speaking engagement through BSN, his first international like speaking engagement through the community. Good stuff. Like, people, launching their first book, getting their first, like my first kind of payment in business wasn't even like a speaking event. It was a digital product. It was a $5 digital product. It was called 51 Online Tools to Find and Book Speaking Engagements. Like I came home one night on a Friday evening, sat down at my computer at 9:30. By 2 a.m. I was done. I clicked send at 8 o'clock that morning. And by 8:05, guys, I had my very first sale. Now it was only $5, and PayPal, they take out their little like percentage. So it's like $4.55, but it was my $4.55, but it was something that was in my head like 12 hours ago, was now created something and is in my bank account as money. And so that to me was like, if I can make $5, I know I can make 50. If I can make 50, I can make 500, make 500, I can make 5,000. Like there's no limit. There's no cap. The only cap is your imagination and your ability to like how many people I'm going to solve and how big of a problem do I want to solve. Like that's it. We've hit multiple 6 figures. We've launched, we've worked with numerous brands. We've got sponsorships, but it's just the beginning. And so any success story of our individual member is my greatest accomplishment. Like if we help somebody connect to they're an opportunity, it's great. This year we have a goal to put 1,200 speakers on stages. Right now, I think we're up to like 40. So, you know, I'm just looking for the next one.
You on a roll for sure. For sure.
Yeah, man.
So, when you talking about connecting, how important and how has the networking been? You know what I'm saying? Just for you to start this platform and for it to propel in a direction it's propelling in.
Yeah, so right now we have so I mentioned, we're at like 12,000 for the community. We have a program called BSM Premium, which is our paid membership, and so I'll have a little under 600 members as a part of that program. Our goal this year is 1,000, and so it's been cool. I think good things happen when you get the right people in the room. A lot of people right now are excited about platforms like Clubhouse and kind of some of these emerging digital platforms, which is the reason why when we did the podcast directory, we didn't just call it like a podcast directory. We call it the podcast and digital platform directory. We're in a very, very exciting time, 2021. Or whenever you're listening to this, it could be years later. Whenever you're listening to this, it's an exciting time. And here's why. 50 years ago, this wouldn't have been possible. Before social media, before, there was a time where 5 companies controlled 95% of all media consumption in the entire country, which means that if you wanted to sell a product or service, to mass market, you needed to, get, if you didn't have a friend or you didn't have the money to get on those 5 like channels, you weren't going to be able to do it. Now we have channels for free or for virtually free where you can get in front of millions of people. Every single person listening to me right now can build an email list. Every single person right now can run a Facebook ad. Every single person right now could create a Clubhouse account. Every single person right now could create a podcast. And so we're in this space where the locus of control has changed. And now we have the power. We being, individual consumers have the ability to create. Like there were no brand influencers before. There were no companies paying, TikTok creators, thousands of dollars to, drink a product. I know you guys are really intentional about your advertising. And y'all should be like, somebody need to be cutting you a check for whatever you're drinking. If they ain't cutting you a check, don't show the label. Like that's real. And I think we have to, take ownership and stock of kind of where we are. This is it feels normal because we were born into it, but this is not a normal moment in history. We are seeing the greatest shift of wealth. And we're about to see an even bigger shift of wealth that we've seen since the beginning of this country. You hear about old money. Where'd it come from? Oil, railroad, gold.
Steel.
Exactly. Like these people, and again, very, very small number of people held control of those industries. Now you have thousands of people, like billionaires, like hundreds of billionaires being created every year, not like hundreds. And so what I just want people to pay attention to is the shift. And you can either decide to participate or get left behind. And you don't have to be intimidated by like, oh, well, maybe you're not the best like speaker. So what? Just get started. There's somebody that needs your message. There's somebody that wants your book. There's somebody that wants your product. There's somebody that's going to listen to you that they wouldn't hear it from me. They wouldn't hear it from UKT. They wouldn't hear it from you, Gullah. Like they got to hear it from you. And so that's the big thing. You got to start where you are with what you have. And, just take action.
Already.
I don't even know if I answered the question, but that's kind of what I was saying.
You probably did.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for any aspiring speakers or current speakers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if you're aspiring, just the most important thing I think all of us need to do is like get clarity. Most people who are speakers, we were multi-talented, meaning that we could speak about a lot of stuff. Like when I first started speaking, like somebody wanted me to come, like I drove on my lunch break to West Virginia one time to give a 15-minute presentation on like time management. Like I'm not a time management expert. That actually was a bad use of time because like I had to drive all the way, you know. So I think, you know, because we're multi-passionate, multi-talented, we tend to like spread ourselves really, really thin and try to do everything. I'm working on a book right now called Perfection Over Progress. And so basically, you know, we're talking about making sure that we don't wait for conditions to get perfect before we start to move. Like we start where we are with what we have. And so I think the general idea is, you know, you want to get super clear on solving one problem for one type of person over and over and over again. So if you're a digital marketing expert, like if you're going to run Facebook ads, run Facebook ads. If you're going to do email marketing, do email marketing. If you're going to create graphics, book cover designs, be the best, be specialized in book cover designs. If you're going to, you know, do t-shirts, like make the best t-shirts, but don't like spread yourself over like 12 different areas, because then you know, people who are doing the most actually don't end up doing like anything. So I think as a speaker, a lot of people try to figure out like how to be a great speaker. Like I think you want to focus on how to be a great entrepreneur, and that really starts with just getting clear on the problem that you're solving and who you're solving that problem for. If you can get clear on that, then the speaking becomes a lot easier, because now instead of being like, you know, I help everybody, now you become like the go-to expert for a very small group of people who can help you stay the course. Yeah, constantly.
Yeah, shout out to Costas. He's in here active in the comments. We appreciate you engaging, you know what I'm saying? We like to engage with the audience too. So we definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely. Yeah. What she said is right. Like I see her focused. Like she's not, like Constance is a great example, because she's one of those people that could be like doing a lot. Like, and so sometimes you got to start saying no to like opportunities, even paying opportunities. Like all money isn't good money. And it's challenging, but if we're going to move from the like hustle mentality to I'm building an enterprise, you know, you gotta get clear on you like who you are and who you're not.
Facts.
So before tonight, how many times have you been on the podcast?
As a guest.
Like other people's podcasts. Oh yeah. So I did like 45 podcast interviews last year. Lifetime, I have no idea. Probably like 80 or 90 maybe. Last year I did a lot of podcasts because everybody was at home. So I'm sure my lifetime number, like half of my lifetime number, is probably 2020. But yeah, no, I've done a lot of podcasts. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think, you know, podcasts are just an excellent medium for people to stay engaged. You know, I've listened to some of y'all episodes. It's like, you know, you can be listening to it, you know, driving or working out and stuff like that. And the cool part about it is that, again, new point of history. Like, what other part of human history could you say something once, and not only does it like live on basically forever, but it can be consumed on so many platforms. Y'all on like every platform. I'm like, y'all on platforms I ain't even heard about, and y'all have sponsors of platforms. So it's kind of like, yeah, you need to be doing this. But platforms, I think, are podcasts are very important platforms, I think, for professional speakers that sometimes they look over because they're like, oh, well, you know, it's a podcast. But, you know, if an average podcast has a listenership, let's say it's 100 people. 100 people will listen to that podcast over 30 days. We probably have way more than that, but let's say it was 100. When's the last time you gave a speaking engagement in front of 100 people? You know? So like we got to start to like shift our mindset a little bit around that. But yeah, I love doing podcasts. I love having like conversation like this. And I love what podcasts do for not just creators like you guys, but also for just people who are like it. We're kind of beyond this thing of and that's why I think there's a disruption coming to like education and stuff like that, because people want information now. Like they don't want it like tomorrow. Like, if I'm in your podcast, I'm in, iTunes, like I'm looking at the titles and I'm like, oh, how to intellectual property. Like I need to know that. Like how to write a book. Like I want to know that. Like, and then if I need the other stuff, I can see it and go back and get it. But, I want to be able to control what I learn when I do it. And so podcasts, I think, represent that.
So what's your favorite episode of 1409 podcast?
Yeah, man.
Not the one you on.
Yeah, nah. I mean, this can't be my favorite because I'm sure 81 will go down in history, but nah. So yeah, I think episode 76, y'all had Taria Avant. She was on there talking about her TED Talk experience, and she's actually a BSN member as well. So shout out to Taria. Like that was really good, and she spoke about something really good on that podcast, which is basically, talking about like how you can't your self-talk, the language that you use when you're talking about like your dreams and your goals. Like, if you're saying stuff like, I'm broke or I can't do this, like, no, like, or if you're sick, you gotta, speak that you're healthy. And so a lot of earlier, I talked to you guys about the 5 M's, but if I was to add a 6 M, it would be related to what Taria was talking about. It would be mindset. We don't add it because we're not trying to get crazy with the M's, but underneath of it, the 6 M is really mindset. So one of the things that she talked about is so true. Like you got to have the mindset. I remember she was on your show talking about, when Oprah calls her, like she's not going to be surprised because she's already seen it so many times. Like it's not a surprise to get, on the TED Talk because like she's manifested this so many times. It was on her vision board. So like if y'all haven't heard that episode, like episode 76, man, that was like really, really powerful. And then y'all had some really fun episodes too. Like, so like honorable mention to episode 56, like y'all talking about keep the nudes. Like that was a fun like episode. I was like, oh, that's a good philosophical question, man. What happens after that breakup? So man, y'all got some good shows. So everybody just need to binge listen to 1409, man, because y'all putting out good content, having good conversations.
For sure. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. For sure. We're not on YouTube this week, but we'll be back on there next week. All the episodes that was this week, we'll put them on YouTube at the same time, but we'll be back live on YouTube next week. For sure.
Yeah. Y'all are doing an amazing job.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. We just trying to spread the knowledge, spread the wealth.
Spread the knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Spread the wealth.
Real talk. That's how you do it. One thing at a time.
Mm-hmm. And continue to be bold, boisterous, and blunt.
That's right.
All right. That brings us to our question of the day.
Oh.
I'm ready.
Freestyle flow.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
I had one and I lost it.
Yeah, so we be doing this off the head for real. Like
that's sometimes the best way. Like, it's sometimes the best, just like you can't make this up. That's why like people are like loving Clubhouse right now, because like it's just like it's what's happening in the moment. It's like it's not recorded, but
yeah, gotta be quick on your feet for sure.
Yeah, you definitely gotta be quick on your feet.
And Toastmasters, we call it table topics. So you gotta they give you a topic, and so they'll be like Thanksgiving dinner, and then you gotta do like a 2-minute presentation on it, or they'll be like, Black Lives Matter, and then you gotta talk about it for like 2 minutes, and so it keep you going. It's good for, if you get like a traffic ticket, they'd be like, you always got something to say.
All right, so the question of today, being that you have the network and the platform and the Black Speakers University, the question of the day is, name something that you wish someone taught you a long time ago.
Yeah. I would say know your worth, like charge, like don't be afraid to charge, basically. So I started BSN in 2016. We didn't monetize the brand basically until like 2018. We were pre-revenue, and we weren't pre-revenue because we didn't have people. We were pre-revenue because I'm like, I didn't have a mechanism to like charge people stuff. Like I didn't have a membership. We weren't selling products or services. I was just like, let me just like help people. And you do want to do that. But I think at a certain point, you have to also decide, like, if something is really giving people value, people are going to pay for it. Like if I like this shirt, I'm going to buy it. Like if I like a product, a shoe, food, I'm going to buy it. And so a lot of times we will be hesitant to either put the right dollar amount or really any dollar amount on something that we really care about, because like nobody wants to hear that their baby's ugly, right? Like nobody wants to hear, oh man, I don't, you know, I like what you're doing, but I don't really like, you know, you want to test somebody. Like if you have a business idea and you're working on it and stuff like that, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sell this. You can ask 100 people, like your friends, your family, they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, that's the greatest idea since sliced bread. You know, I'll be there, you know, I'll buy it, no problem. And then as soon as you send a PayPal link or like a Stripe invoice or something like that, it'll be like, hey, you can come buy it right now. It's, you know, $19 or, you know, $80 or $90, like whatever it is. And they'll be like, see the way my bank account's set up, you know, I'm like, see my checkings are not connected to my savings. I gotta wait to, you know. So if you really want to test something, you know, charge people. So I think we should start, you know, charging people as early as possible. You know, getting people in the mindset of, you know, they should pay for your time and they should also pay for your services. So that'd be the biggest thing.
Yeah, I know a lot of our guests, they have like some type of subscription-based service, like many of our guests, because that's something we definitely gonna have to get into soon, like real soon, because that's the move. Instead of worrying about making this amount of dollars in this hour, you just need these amount of subscriptions in this month, in the next month, and it's gonna be monthly subscriptions. You know what I'm saying? Or you can have that yearly subscription or that lifetime subscription. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk. Absolutely. I think it's there's Amazon, you know, is it the biggest, like one of the biggest companies in the world right now? Subscription model. Netflix, subscription model. Disney Plus, subscription. Like you look at the biggest brands in the world are scrambling to figure out how to add subscription models to their business mix. It works. It works. And I think that every entrepreneur should think about how to do that. Now, if you're going to charge people on a reoccurring basis, it means you have to have something where you're creating reoccurring value on a monthly, yearly, whatever basis. There's a lot of ways to do that, and you don't have to be the one doing it. Networks are very, very powerful. And so you don't have to be the one creating everything. You just have to be the person that manages it. And so that's why my whole philosophy right now breaks down to 3 areas. And I stay really in these lanes. So it's partnerships, communities, and systems. Like those 3. Like every single day when I wake up, I'm like, yo, who am I partnering with? You know, what communities am I either building or leveraging, and what systems can I create or optimize in my business to ensure that we are continuing to serve our people. So
my answer to that would be Bitcoin. I wish I had somebody taught me that sooner, because when it was like $11 or even $100.
How about that?
Yeah. You know what it's at now.
I
don't know where it's at right now. It's high. I know it's
crashed today.
Did it?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I got a news flash saying that it crashed today, but I didn't look at it after I got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very volatile. I mean, cryptocurrency in general is a very volatile thing. I think it's going to be a couple, still maybe another 10 years before we really are using. But y'all heard? I mean, even the Super Bowl this year. They are doing a cashless Super Bowl. So for the first time in history, like your money, like US currency will not be accepted in the largest sporting event of the year.
You mean paper currency?
Paper currency, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, paper. So no coins. So if you have cash, you have to take the cash to a machine, and the machine will actually issue you a temporary kind of like debit card that you could use to make purchases. So I think this idea of we're already in, using digital currency to an extent. Cryptocurrency, I think, is going to be something that we continue to do. It's 31,000. Yeah. So yeah, if you would have got in, would have got in at $11, you'd be sitting pretty right now. But I mean, it's also something where I only invest in stuff that I really understand. And like, I do not understand big. I understand it at a high level, but like, I don't understand why the price fluctuates the way it does. And because of that, I still would classify it as a very risky investment, but it's very interesting. And I know I'm probably going to jump in eventually, but not right now.
Yeah. It's gonna keep going up, I think, but we'll see. What you got, Paula?
I guess one of the things that I would probably want to learn earlier is like the power of branding. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you start doing something, but it's different. Like when you brand it, it kind of like make it your own. Just kind of like how you doing with the Black Speakers Network, and what I'm saying, the Black Speakers University is different when you like brand it and make it your own. So I wish I just had like guidance earlier on like learning how to brand myself.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that 100%. I mean, you want to look at the power of branding. There are companies right now that you just like, I mean, you don't even need the name. You just see the logo. You just automatically, associate it with, a feeling or a certain dollar amount, stuff like that. So, yeah. But one thing that's interesting about what you said, I think from a branding perspective, is like you're creating a brand, whether you're intentionally or unintentionally focused on it, you're going to create a brand one way or another. The only choice is whether or not you're going to, steer it in a direction that's going to be like valuable for you. A brand is just a perception of what people feel and believe about a product, a service, or a person. So like, yeah, people are going to believe the people are going to believe what they're going to believe, but you have the ability to shape it to a certain extent. So.
Facts. All right, let's go and get into that. This or that. All right. Speaking in person or speaking virtually?
Right now, it's virtually for me. I'm like, again, I'm an introvert, so like, this is my home office. I'm straight. Like, I mean, speaking in person is cool, but virtually, I'm good with that.
Yeah, you could have like the suit jacket on and don't even have to have the suit pants on. You can have like some basketball shorts and nobody will know.
Shorts, got some slipper socks on. Nobody know.
That's funny. I had an interview this year, last year with the virtual, and like the top half was business and the bottom half was all party because they couldn't see.
That's funny, man. Yeah, business up top, party down bottom, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta get it how you live. You gotta be comfortable.
Right.
Yeah, that's just one I had thought of just a few minutes ago, so I was trying to remember it the whole time.
Yeah, virtual. I mean, we've had opportunities this year. One of the speakers in our network, she was able to go train at I think it was like UCLA, and I mean, it would have been in person, but she probably wouldn't have been selected for that opportunity because she's on the East Coast. So I think I got really nervous when they start canceling a ton of events in 2020, and I think everybody did. Like some people had their entire 2020 calendar wiped out in a matter of weeks, and then stuff started getting pushed back, and they were just like, "Oh, well, this isn't going to like change." But it's just different, But I enjoy it. I think it's a good thing, and I think everybody in the speaking business has embraced this virtual shift. I don't think it's going to change necessarily. Even when live events open back up, I think now that we've seen what we can accomplish virtually, the industry is going to be changed forever.
Mm-hmm. So you when you travel, and you prefer flights or road trips?
Oh, flights. I hate driving. Like I was on a plane earlier. I was like, I mean, anything over like 4 hours, I want to fly. Like, even if it's something that's not even like near like an airport, like I just prefer to fly and then maybe drive another 2 hours. Like I'm not trying to. I mean, if I'm riding, I guess. But like in Baltimore, like to get to Atlanta, it's like 12 hours. Like I'm not. You can drive 12 hours to Atlanta, or it's like a 50-minute plane ride. Like, put me on a plane.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right. I think I don't have none. I don't know more. You
Yeah, I
got
don't
one?
have no. Nah.
All right.
This or that. I like it.
You ever this or that?
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm immediately thinking about food because maybe I'm hungry. Yeah. Because we had this today. So like pancakes or French toast.
Shit.
I'm gonna go with pancakes.
I'm going French toast. I had some good French toast in my life, especially overseas.
I had some good pancakes in my life.
All right.
Yeah,
You said overseas?
Yeah, I had some good French toast, and it wasn't in France.
Okay. Kansas City or Tampa Bay?
Kansas City.
Kansas City, man.
Kansas City here.
I don't want to see Tom Brady. See, the thing about me, I'm a Patriots fan, so we don't want to see Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
I hear that a lot. He should be on his way out, huh?
Yeah. He should have been taking the Patriots back to the Super Bowl this year, not another team.
Yeah.
He doing the Peyton Manning thing.
Apple or iPhone? I mean, iPhone or Android? Sorry, iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
iPhone it is for me.
I know it's iPhone for you too. You up in Clubhouse unless you got two phones.
Nah, well, I am on that Kevin Gates a little bit, but here's the deal: I got iPad, so I got best of both worlds. And like you said, I got stock in both, so it don't really both we win either way. Yeah, that's my diff for that.
Right, those are some good ones for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all need a guest host, I'm out here.
Say less. Yeah, go ahead and plug your businesses one more time. I know it's on the bottom of the screen, but you know we have audio on Pandora and things like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, again, I definitely appreciate the opportunity. Great conversation, guys. Black Speakers Network. We're Black Speakers Network on everything, Instagram. I think the easiest thing that I encourage people to do, just to join the Facebook group. So if you literally just go to Facebook and type in Black Speakers Network, join the community, I think you'll get a ton of value. You'll be able to connect, meet a lot of other speakers around the world, just stay up to date on everything that we're doing. So if you're trying to figure out where we are, just Google Black Speakers Network, go to our website, and then you could get to everything from there. And if anybody needs me, I'm pretty accessible in the group or on Instagram or LinkedIn. Brian J. Olds, BrianJolds.
Yes, sir. And make sure you follow Black Speakers Network on Instagram.
Sure.
Yeah, 21K, I believe, right now. 22.
Something like that.
Yeah. Make sure y'all follow us.
Yeah, we trying to, 1,200 is the goal this year. So, we only did 40. We got lots of opportunity left. So definitely looking to bring on some more speakers.
You operate that page yourself?
The BSN page? Yeah, we have a social media. We have a part-time social media manager. Like I said, we're working on some interns, but yeah, I pretty much. We've had different people run the page at different times, but right now it's me. I run that page and I run my own page. And then I'm pretty hands-on on the social side.
Cool. And yeah, you can find us. Nobody Grinds Like Us Network. Always Press Record TV. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything 1409 Podcast. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. You know what I'm saying? You can follow my personal page on Instagram, 843 Ambassador. You know what I'm saying?
You can follow my personal page at GualaMeetsWorld on IG.
All right, it's the 1409 podcast, and we out.
Peace.